Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 7. It's hard to believe, but you're almost there. Just one more week. I hope you're excited about Mardi Gras. Um, we are pretty excited down here. People are starting to go to parades, and I pace myself. I don't go to too many because I get worn out. But some people down here go, I think, every single day. Anyway, there's king cake in the faculty lounges. Everywhere you look, there's sweets. It's not just limited to Valentine's Day down here. It's like 6 weeks of sugar. It's challenging. Anyway, this week I have eliminated the discussion board so that you could focus on getting your philosophy of gifted education papers done. And you do have a couple of activities in this module for this week, so I thought the discussion board was a little too much, so happy belated Valentine's Day. I will work hard to get your field experience papers graded in the next few days, so you'll have that feedback, and I look forward to reading them. I was happy to read so many great comments on the discussion board for week 6 about acceleration and enrichment, and thought I would just kind of summarize some of your comments and give you a little bit of my 2 cents on the topics. So as you all pointed out, that if children come in already having mastered 50% or more of the content, there are likely to be behavioral problems. So when we have kids that already know things, it's our job to accelerate or enrich or both those students so that they stay meaningfully engaged in their own learning. Now, we do have to consider the whole child, as you pointed out, and so not just the intellectual needs, but the social-emotional needs. However, I hear teachers all the time say, we can't accelerate this child to another grade level because she doesn't even get along with her own peers, so she's going to really struggle in the next grade level. Keep in mind what we know about children is that there is asynchronous development, especially with gifted students. So their intellectual and creative needs might be way up here, and then their physical abilities and social emotional development may be quite low, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't be challenged appropriately. So we don't want to deny children the opportunity if they can be performing on a higher level. So just something to think about. Gifted students may never get along with their age peers, in part because in their heads they're not similar to their age peers. So they're getting along better with adults, and that may always be the case for them. And if it is, then keeping them back isn't helping them at all. But there is subject acceleration, and I was happy to see that in some of your schools that is already in place. It always gets tricky because the grade level teacher above you says, well, if I let him do the second grade math, then what am I going to do when he's in my second grade class? But we should be able to be flexible enough to do what's right for children. And I could tell from your comments that you all agree. I was happy to see that Brett had learned from his field experience interview from his teacher about curriculum compacting. And he didn't name it that, I don't think, in his posting, but essentially that is pre-testing like a new unit of content. And if the child already demonstrates mastery of 85-90% of the content, then you draw up a contract, usually has the child and the parents sign off. And with that time, when you'll be teaching that regular content to other students, that child, because he's already mastered that content, is going to work on something else. And that could be above grade level work, or it could be some well-designed enrichment activities. Preferably based on the child's interests. So you want to design that with the child, not just for the child. And enrichment, as you all pointed out, should not just be busy work or more work. It needs to be really purposeful learning that taps into the child's interests and strengths and helps remediate weaknesses if possible along the way. I loved your ideas about including some self-reflection in the enrichment activities. Also, infusing critical thinking and creative problem solving. Enrichment activities are a great way to get those things in. All right, and let's see. As Tara said, she said, my goal as a teacher is to inspire high levels of achievement and curiosity in my students and to motivate them in a challenging environment. And so, whatever it takes to do that, that's what we should do. And so, I like that quote a lot. I like to keep that in mind. And another comment somebody made, Vanessa. Vanessa brought up the issue of young students entering college early and the fact that maybe they're going to do fine in college at a young age, but then she wonders what it's like as they enter the workforce. And I have some personal experience with that. I was the director of the program for the exceptionally gifted at Mary Baldwin College in Virginia for a couple of years, and that is an early entrance to college program. It's residential for girls as young as 12 who just skip middle school and high school, either or both, altogether. They just come right from, we had one come from 7th grade to college. And she did very well. Those students do well. It's not for everyone, of course. But an interesting challenge is these girls are ready to do the academic work because they are so bright. But when they finish college at age 16, they have limited opportunities. Doesn't mean that it's not, most of them are still glad they did it, but it is interesting. Most graduate programs will not take people that young because they haven't had experiences, real world, real life experiences. It's going to be hard to get into medical school. It's going to be hard to get into law school at that age. So a lot of those students end up working on another bachelor's degree or a master's degree in another field and kind of finish at the age that they're supposed to, chronological age, 22, 23 years old when they enter the workforce. So it does bring up an interesting challenge. Okay, I think that's all I really wanted to point out this week. So finish strong, and let me know if you have any questions or concerns as we enter week 7 and then move on to week 8. Okay, have a great week.